Something completely different. You've probably noticed it's never dark. Go out at night, right? It's never dark. If you live anywhere within metropolitan Melbourne, it's really hard for there to be darkness. Maybe we need to do something about that. Dr. Theresa Jones is the Urban Light Lab leader at the University of Melbourne. Good morning.
Good morning, Raf. How are you?
I think you're talking about light pollution laws. What would they be and why would we need them?
Yeah, that's a good question. The reason we need them is we don't have any, and people don't often think about light as being a pollutant. You know, we think that we need light so we can see and do things, but putting light into places which should be dark has consequences. It can lead to changes in behaviours of animals, including humans. It can lead to reductions in reproduction, so animals produce less offspring. It has lots of implications, and so we need to be thinking about reducing it because we don't have any laws to reduce it. We have minimum requirements for lighting, but we have no maximal requirements. And so people can do what they want really in terms of lighting within some restrictions, obviously.
So you said it affects reproduction for some animals. Can you just explain that?
Yeah, so one of the things that light does is it controls some of our biological rhythms, and we've known this for centuries. Light can lead to our seasons are driven in part by light, right? Upregulation of lots of hormones related to reproduction, but light can also decrease some of those hormones, and light at night can affect when those hormones are present. They can affect when animals reproduce. They can affect when animals want to reproduce, because if there's light during the night, they might not want to go out and do their normal, business of reproduction. So we can affect their behaviors as well. So physiologically and behaviorally, it can affect when they want to reproduce and how much they can actually produce.
Do you want light maximums for people, or do you want light maximums for animals?
Ideally, we want them for everyone, because all of the things I've just described in animals can also happen in humans. We know that light at night can also affect our ability to sleep. It's been related to increased disease risks and cancers and things.
Increased disease risk if we have too much light.
Yeah, if we have too much light, it also affects us physiologically. Some of those hormones that are important, I've just talked about in animals, we also have too. Melatonin is a really important one. It's often called the signal of darkness. We produce it at night naturally, and it protects us. It's an antioxidant in our body, and it kind of helps us recover from all of those, normal metabolic things. If we have light at night, we no longer produce it, or we produce it in much lower quantities. And so then that has, implications for us physiologically too.
Dr. Theresa Jones is with us from the University of Melbourne. Dr. Jones, we've had a few stories lately. There's a spectacularly bright billboard at St Kilda Junction that is on 24/7. I know because I go past it at about 5 in the morning, and it is like a huge wall of light. There are people that live near sporting grounds, and that is happening more and more, that people might live near a suburban park, but the suburban park is used at night time for football training, especially in winter. How would you apply a light law or a light maximum to that?
That's a really good question. And I think those maximum laws need to be also accompanied by laws on, when you can have lights on. So if you live near a sports ground, there should be some sort of regulations suggesting, and there are regulations there, they're imposed by council, they need to be turned off at 11 o'clock. There are issues around safety, and they always have to be taken into consideration. Those billboards are frustrating because how many people are actually looking at them at 5 a.m.? I mean, you get to see it, but, how many others are having a look?
Oh, there's another two cars.
There's another. So the three of you are having a lovely time looking at this billboard. So we need to think about this. Lights from shops, for example, garages. There's a whole suite of areas where we could start thinking about, can we reduce the lights or have them on sensor? Maybe if we absolutely need them, can we put them on only when we actually need them, when a human is present? They're there for humans. That's the only reason they're there, and to make money for some people. So we need to start thinking about the where we put them, the when we put them on, and how intensely bright they are. Okay. And there's one other thing we might need to think about, and that's the colour of the light as well.
Oh, well, but just before you get to that, I'm going to ask maybe the hardest question or the cruelest question, I'm not sure. How on earth are you going to get anybody in power to listen to you?
Good question. I think we're increasingly realizing that light is not just a biodiversity issue, it's a human issue too. And I think once human risk comes into it, I think we can start getting people to listen. I think also if we care about a healthy environment, then we need to start thinking about not just the chemicals, the noise, all of those other pollutants. We need to start thinking about the fact that we're polluting the night. And that's really important too, because it's affecting the health of our cities, it's affecting the health of our parks. And that glow from our cities can extend, 60k beyond the boundaries. I work in Serendip Sanctuary sometimes, which is out in Lara. We can see Melbourne from Serendip.
Well, one day I'm going to get you to come over. You can go and knock on my neighbour's lights in the middle of the night, because that's kind of driving me crazy as well. But good luck with your efforts. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.